Hey guys, Wild Charles coming at you. I'm Charles Wind, and I am out here today with Peter Critchlow at the Critchlow Alligator Sanctuary in Athens, Michigan. It's a really super cool place that takes in rescued alligators and gives them a good home. So we're gonna come out here, I'm gonna show you some alligators, and we're gonna feed some alligators. You're gonna get to check them out, so it's gonna be really cool. Peter, do you want to say a little bit about the alligator sanctuary?
Yep, we've been here almost 10 years and we're home to over 100 alligators as well as a lot of other rescued reptiles. And this is a sanctuary for pets to live out their lives. So kind of like a retirement home for pets that need a place to live because they've gotten too big to live in somebody's house.
All right guys, we're going to feed these guys. You're going to get to see it right here.
You gonna talk back?
Yeah.
Like, thanks. Yeah. He's going. He's like, I got me a big biscuit. Take it and hide.
They do like it when you tap it right here.
Yeah. It lets them know where it is because they really don't see very well unless something moves or if there's vibration.
That's how they know when there's a game in the waters from the vibration.
They're feeling for vibration or they're looking for a movement. Yeah.
You recognize this guy? Does this guy got a name?
Well, they all have a name, but I have to scan his microchip and look them up because there's 50 of them in here and they're all pretty close.
50 alligators in here, guys. 50 alligators. We're feeding them right here, guys.
I mean, there's a few I know, but for the most part, I kind of have to guess. But once we start training them, so if I wanted to train him, I would scan him and look up his name, and then I'd just start training him.
So can you tell us a little bit about these alligators that are in this pond right here?
Well, this is a middle school pond, so these are 8 years to about 12 years old.
8 years to about 12 years old?
Yep. They're, for the most part, they don't really have territorial issues, so you can have boys and girls together, they all get along. But once they get to about 13, 14 years old, you'll see one of them kind of step up as the alpha gator. And that happened over here. He went over there, his name's Charlie, and he runs that pond.
So you don't want to have an alligator in this pond, is that right?
Well, there isn't one in here because they're too young.
Okay.
And when you have an alpha, if there's another pond, he's going to go and take that other pond for himself. And he's going to leave this one alone.
Okay.
And sometimes he comes over here, and when he's in here, he's just like everybody else. They don't bother him, he doesn't bother them. But if you go over there, that's his pond.
His pond is his territory, and he's gonna defend it, right?
Yep. Or he'll send one of his enforcers after you. He's got 2 of those. Let's see if we can get a fingernail up here. You look at their hands. You see the fingernails on the hands? See the fingernails?
Yeah.
Notice how there's no fingernail on that pinky?
Yes.
You see that? The pinky has a thermometer in there. And so the alligators put their pinky in the soil, they feel the temperature of the soil. And if they feel the right temperature, they will know that they can nest and lay eggs. But it has to be 80 degrees for 2 straight months. And they're feeling down in the soil. It's never that temperature here, so they can't breed here. They actually can't breed north of Georgia.
Yeah, what? Pretty cool, huh, guys?
Let them take it out of your hand.
He's brand new here. If you look at his colors, you notice how his colors are super light, like a yellowish color to his skin, where the other ones are much darker. That's because Emmett has never been outside. This is his first week here at the sanctuary. He's outside now. He's going to get some sun. After a while, he's going to look just like the other gators.
He's gonna get a tan.
Yep. But right now, he doesn't have any of that color, so he's a lot different than the rest of them.
Very light skin right now, guys.
Where do you eat dinner at? Now, if you look at the side of his face, you see the little dots in his face, the little tiny black dots. They're on the bottom jaw and the top jaw, those little black dots. So each one of those dots, just one dot, has more nerves than your hand. and it interfaces his nervous system with the water. So when he's in the water, if you touch the water, it's just like touching him. He feels it. You can be 10 feet away from him, but he feels you moving in the water because of those nerves on his face. So he has a radar of about 10 to 15 feet around him.
Awesome.
So he can find things in dark, murky water, nighttime, no problem. So if he sits his head perfectly where his ears kind of touching the water, he can hear underwater, he can hear above water, both at the same time. It's the only animal that can do that. Pretty cool feature. Basically they're telling each other information by how they're sitting in the water. So just like cats, they kind of posture to each other with the fur standing up or the whiskers. Alligators do that by posturing in the water. So when you see a back sticking up or even a tail, that's a confident animal. If you see just a head, that's a more cautious animal. He's trying to stay low key, he's trying to stay mostly out of sight, and he doesn't want to upset any larger gators.
Kind of like a goose when he's trying to hide.
Yeah, well, he's staying low profile, and he's basically sending out a submissive message. If there's a big gator around, I don't want to upset him, so I keep myself low. If I put my back up, that's like saying I'm a tough guy. Any other tough guys around, they're going to take notice of that, and you might have
a confrontation.
You might have a conflict, or you might just have gators that don't want to be near each other.
Ready, set, go!
And what's cool about how they do that is inside their body they have this special set of muscles around all their organs, and they can actually shift their organs around in their body and change what part is heavy and yeah,
kind of like a fish bladder.
Yeah, and it's cool, and you can't tell by looking at them. They look identical.
Yeah.
So the only way to know, you have to sex them with your finger. They have it's called a cloaca. It's a hole. You gotta put your finger in there and feel. If you feel something, it's a boy. But we usually don't do that till they're maybe this big. So a lot of the small ones, we don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter because they act the same.
Cloaca.
But as they get bigger, the boys get bigger. So by 20 years old, you can tell because they're a lot bigger. But also, they act differently after about 13 or 14. So when you see usually them fighting each other, it's usually boys. Girls like to chase each other around. Boys like to bite tails.
Roughhousing.
Yeah, so if you see the behavior, you can kind of tell by the
Girls
behavior.
are playing house and the boys are out beating each other up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So two things to look at.
So, but you're not always right 100% because sometimes girls will play rough, sometimes boys will chase each other. So you
Well, you
can.
got your Tom girl every now
Yeah.
and then.
So, yeah. You got it?
Yeah.
You got some salad with that one.
Yeah, he did.
You got a garnish.
Yeah, I thought I'd be a little eerie around these things, but hell,
Once you get to know them,
man,
just like cats.
yeah,
Weird, right?
Just
It's
like
awesome.
feeding a bunch of cats.
it's awesome. You tell them.
Yeah, and they
Dang it.
talk to you.
Don't make me work like that.
Yeah.
Here you go. How about you? Another?
So Lance, have you ever fed alligators before?
It's the first time I've ever been this close to alligator in my life.
How do you feel?
Other than oh, it's awesome. I don't feel scared a bit. Not a bit. Kind of like a dog.
Yeah.
Or a ant.
Yep.
Or a pig.
No. Well, dogs can sweat.